Hi Carlos, it's Gwendolyn here. I hope you had a good weekend. Really great to see your next set of essays. Also really great to see your corrected essays in your error list. I'm really impressed with your error list. It's very comprehensive. Um, I appreciate you taking the time to do such a comprehensive error list. It really is for you though, and I think you'll find it useful as you go through the course and as you develop your writing to look back and see where you make your mistakes. And I think it's when, we believe in this course that whenever you know what your mistakes are, you can prevent them from happening again. So that's a very important part of the learning process, is identifying those mistakes and working on improving them. And seeing that right up front in your error list is a really helpful tool to correct those and make sure you never make them again. So great job on your error list and really good job on your corrected essays as well. Let's go ahead and look at your next two set of essays today. Let's start with a task 2 on copyright laws. First of all, I wanted to say here, Carlos, really great to see what you've done here at the start. You've given up some different synonyms for the words in the task response. A really good idea. I think it helps you think about what other words you can use throughout the essay so you don't repeat the same information or the same words. So that was a really good tactic to see. I would keep that up. As for your essay itself, I thought you did a really good job of answering the task response. Some good ideas, great examples, very clear and coherent essay, some good vocabulary throughout. Yeah, a few grammatical things, so let's go ahead and read through it and I can point those out to you. The impact of the inception of new legislation aiming to punish copyright infringement, and whether it is relevant for society or not, is calling enormous attention throughout the UK. Until now, these rules have bestowed benefits for both the creative people and the society in general. Both issues will be addressed in this essay using UK artists and the UK government as examples to support arguments and demonstrate points. Good, really good introduction. Maybe my only feedback would be here on this sentence. It was okay. I think there was a lot of phrases in it though. I'm trying to get my students to kind of, great to see complex sentences, try to get rid of so many phrases in a sentence. So here you had impact of the implication of new legislation aiming to punish copyright infringement, and whether it is relevant for society or not, is called enormous attention throughout the UK. So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 different phrases in there. And I think the more phrases we put into our sentences, the more possibility we're going to have lose some of the coherence and cohesion. So something I want you to practice, Carlos, is to write some sentences with only a maximum of 2 phrases in them. Lots of different sentences. Maybe you can go back on some of the other essays you've written and seeing where you've put more than 2 phrases and then change those into, or more than 2 phrases and change them into just having 2. Just 10 sentences I want you to write down and I will correct those. You can use this one as the first one. As an example, you could say, so here you could pretty much keep the same idea but take it down to 2 phrases by saying, the impact of new copyright legislation is calling enormous attention throughout the UK. I've just kept it to two phrases there. It's a little more coherent. Pretty much the same meaning is left there. We've talked about society in the second sentence, so not really necessary there. The only issue I have with it in this particular essay is that you've only written 251 words. So if we do take out all that language, you won't have enough word count. So that is something to also be mindful of. But anyways, go ahead and try to write 10 sentences with just 2 phrases in them. If there's any more throughout your essay, you can correct those and use those as your 10 sentences. Okay, let's go on to your P1. To begin with, it can be argued that legislation prizes imaginative minds since it is protecting their work by stopping others from copying and reproducing it reproducing it without permission. For instance, the UK government has established a series of laws guaranteeing basic rights for artists of several kinds of art. Furthermore, official statistics have shown these rules have had a great impact on artists' lives since art production has increased 35% over the last 10 years. Thus, it is irrefutable that legislation encourages creativity. Good, really good paragraph, great idea, great example, good vocabulary, irrefutable, established, good, guaranteeing, imaginative, good, some good vocabulary in there. On the other hand, cities and countries need artists because they account for an important part of the economy. This is supported by recent studies by the UK government, which has demonstrated that the industry of music, painting, and clothing design represents, plural, represents 25% of the whole UK's economy. What about using economy here again? We've used it once already. I'm aware of this statistics actually from my days of living in the UK. I think, a different way you could say this is representing 25% of the UK's annual revenue. Could be a different way of saying that so you're not saying economy again. Consequently, if artists' rights are not covered, countries could not operate properly. Artists are an essential part of the economy. Maybe here in saying, just one, I'm trying to get you from saying economy so many times in such a short sentence, short paragraph. Maybe you could say society there, although it doesn't have the same impact. Have a think about some other words you can use for economy. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that rules and regulations to protect creativity not only serves the imaginative people, but the society as a whole. Good, really good essay, very, very well written. Well done with that. So your task 1. Good, Carlos. I thought you did a really good job with your task 1 letter. You answered all parts of the question, which is great. There were quite a lot of things to get in there. I thought it was a really clear and coherent essay. Some good vocabulary throughout. Very few issues with this one. Just one misspelled word at least, and a couple of grammatical things. So let's have a look at those. Dear Sir or Madam, I am writing this letter in order to apologize and explain the reasons for my absence in the last math exam. My name is Charles Brown, student number 260450 and case number 12345. I am a student in the advanced mathematics course led by Professor Thompson. Last Tuesday, a calculus exam was scheduled at 5 p.m. However, usually the punctuation on this is a semicolon, however, and then a comma. I could not take the exam because of a flu I caught a few days ago. I'm going to change the word order that to make it more clear and coherent, but also note that flu is spelled F-L-U. There's no E in flu. So here I would say, I could not take the exam because I caught the flu a few days ago. Okay? Remember your subject, verb, object agreement in your sentences and phrases. It was very disappointing to fail as I was expecting to get a high grade from this test. I contacted the secretary of the faculty. Yeah, here we could just make it a little simpler here. We could say I contacted the faculty secretary on Monday, trying to get rid of some of your overuse of phrases and sentences. I contacted the faculty secretary on Monday in order to send my doctor's examination so that I could demonstrate that I was really sick, but she could not offer me any sensible option to send this document to the faculty. We've used faculty here and there. I just wonder, maybe you could just say to send this document on. The secretary suggested that I carried the document in person, comma, which you can imagine how upset me. Maybe put an adjective here, which you can imagine severely upset me, instead of how. Understanding the possible implications and asking for apologies. As a solution to this issue, I suggest a second opportunity to sit the test. Here again, we've got quite a few different phrases in the sentence, which is hindering your coherence and cohesion a little bit. So here I might say, as a solution to this issue, I would probably start out this paragraph with this phrase, as a solution to this issue, comma, I suggest a second opportunity to sit the test. I will consider any other options you may have to settle this inconvenience. Maybe here then you could put in this phrasing. Again, please accept my apologies. Again, please accept my apologies. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully, Charles Brown. Good. Carlos, I thought these were two really good essays. I thought you did a great job of, on both of them actually. I just on the task response, on your coherence and cohesion. So what I want you to do next is correct these two essays with the suggestions given, add any mistakes to your error list, watch the podcast if there are any, go ahead and write the next two set of essays, and then I also want you to do this task of writing 10 essays, or 10 questions, or 10 sentences, that only have 2 phrases in them. Sometimes I think you put too many phrases into your sentence, which can hinder your coherence and cohesion, and I just want you to practice that a little bit more. And I will check those as well. Alright, do that as soon as possible and get that back to me so we don't forget what we've learned. Alright, Carlos, keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing your next set of work soon. Bye for now.